Hey, it's Peter with the band Time Warp, and we are back again doing another review for our lights from our good friends from Shehds. So, as we mentioned in some of the other videos, we started off with par lights. We went into the 19 by 15 watt moving head that are the RGB, Ws, all that kind of stuff, and they are awesome. But we also wanted to add some true beam and gobo type lights. So you got a bunch of things moving as you're, kind of going around. So, next on the list are these beautiful things. You can see how big this thing is now. So this is the Shehds. It's a lead beam, 150 watt moving head that we love. It's pretty big, so it's used really when we get to a lot of our, the outdoor state venues and stuff like that we do. And we actually used it, and you'll see in the video at the end, at a little bit of a smaller place that was still outdoors. But it did a great job. It wasn't overpowering. And what I love about all of these lights is the dimmable feature. So, we can go to a much smaller area in terms of a venue, and we're not going to use these in a real small club or bar or things like that. But if it's outdoor and there's a decent amount of room, shoot, we love putting these things up, and we can dim them down if we needed to in terms of not having them at 100%. So what's cool is at the end, you're going to see some videos of us at a really big venue in the Woodlands that, 2,500 people were there. And they, it's funny, you'll see how bright they are, even though there are lights that they turn on, in the outdoor place that we play at. And then you'll see them at the other venue I was talking about, which is a little bit smaller, and incredible the amount of light that these things put out with. So let's go over some details here. So before we get too far, what do you get inside with the light? Well, obviously you get the beautiful light. You get a DMX cable. You get the lovely PowerCon cable, these are awesome because they lock in. They don't just pull out easily. And of course they have this locking piece that's really cool, because what it ends up doing is you're just doing like a quarter turn to hook this to a truss. Now we have another piece that you have to buy separately if you want to hook it to a truss. But these are great because they're super easy to take on and off. You're not sitting here with a screw, forever trying to work on that. So, all right, so put my glasses on again so I can see. So a few details about the light itself. Again, it's a 100 watt LED light, moving head. The beam angle on it is 2.2 degrees. It is dimmable from 0 to 100, which again is awesome because it helps us go from stage to stage and be able to, on the big stages, have it blasting, full blast, and then be able to bring it down to, a 50 or 75 watt if it's a little bit smaller stage. It does have a control mode of either sound, auto, slave, and master slave, and then of course DMX. The color wheel, it's a 12-piece color wheel, and the gobo wheel is 13 pieces. It's a 16-channel DMX. The pan tilt, pan is 540 degrees and tilt is 190. So it's got a decent amount of movability and stuff. I mentioned dimmer. It's a linear dimmer that's 0 to 100%. Product size, 16 inches by 9 inches by 5 inches. So it's pretty big, but again, when it's on our truss, it doesn't seem that big. And then weight is a little over 18 pounds, so it does weigh a little bit. I can assure you there are much bigger lights that weigh a lot more. So again, these are very manageable. I have easily put one of these by myself on the truss using, the pieces that we bought. It's not that difficult to be able to put on there. So it works great for us. And again, love the features. We're going to show you, some of the features in terms of the display. We'll kind of get to that part. And then so you can get an idea of what's on the back. You've obviously got, PowerCon in and out, DMX in and out, an on-off switch, and then a fuse. So they're set up really nice. And the one thing I failed to mention when we started is they come packed really well. I'm not worried about unless somebody's going to drop it from a plane. Shehds does a great job of packing them up and getting them secure to you. And I will tell you that they come fast. So when you order from Shehds, I think the most we have waited on any light has been maybe 5 days tops. And we're in Houston, so I mean, their shipping and how they get it out the door and all that kind of stuff is awesome. So let's get the thing mounted up to where we can show you what the display does, and then ultimately we'll show you a lot of the light features, and then at the end, as I mentioned, we're going to show you what it looks like on the stage. And I think that's where everybody wants to see what it does if you're especially in a band and looking to get some incredible lighting. So let's see what it does. So we're here with the Shehds 150 watt moving head, LED moving head, and so wanted to go over the really cool display that they have and a lot of the features that it has on it. So let's check out what some of the features are. So what you can see to start with is it's got a fantastic display, and so by going into it, you can see kind of the initial information's in here: settings, test, offset, advanced, hardware, system info. So it's got a bunch of things that you can do from that standpoint. But when you get into settings, it'll give you a chance to check out what kind of mode you want to be able to do. And so what you got is, we're on DMX because everything we do is on DMX. You've got a sound activation mode, obviously. You've got an auto 1, which is really pretty cool because it does have some cool auto features that you can set up. So there's an auto 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's a random mode, so if you're kind of wanting more of it doing its own concept, and then back to DMX. And so if you're in run mode DMX, and if you come down, here's where you'll switch your channel. In this case, this particular unit's on channel 89, and this is where we've got it set, between the number of channels, in this case 16 channels. And sensitivity is if you were going to be doing sound mode, and if you want to invert the pan, and you should see invert the tilt and swap it, and you can just kind of see that you can go through a number of concepts here, which is really cool. So again, for us, thankfully we're on the DMX mode, so we've got it set up to where it's running through a computer, and that's just for the band, and it works really, really great. So let's check out what the light looks like with it doing some of the beautiful colors and some of the beautiful settings. All right, now for the fun part. So we are obviously on the 150 watt LED moving headlight that also does the gobo. So just to kind of get you started again, you've got different, this is at 100% in terms of how bright the light is. And actually what we'll do is we'll actually put it on a white just so you get an idea. So this is at 100%. And as you notice, this is at 75, 50, 25, and then obviously off. So, this gives you an idea. Take for instance, just what one of the beams and how small that beam can be, and then I can get down here to where right now, let me double check which one I'm on. So that is actually on the 100% focus, which is the smallest beam, and then you can go to a 40% focus and then a 3% focus, so you can see the beam gets a little bit bigger with each of the concepts. So I mean, you can do some really cool pieces. Again, you'll see at the end with the videos that we're doing just how focused a lot of this can be, which is cool. So we'll go through colors here real quick just to give you an idea of you've got red, you've got yellow, blue, pink, and I actually should have had these in order. It'd be a lot easier. Green, orange, amber, whatever you want to call it, cyan, and then of course you've got it to where it can do half and halves. So here's a blue and yellow, a blue and green, an orange and green, a pink and orange, and like cyan and pink. And so What's cool is, you know, as you get to where, you know, if you're just doing one color and wanting a beam, obviously, you know, popping a yellow beam a lot of times, like the particular song that we are doing this with, which is Flock of Seagulls I Ran. Our par lights, our main lights behind the drum are on blue, and then we have, you know, a white color on this particular moving head, and the other one has a yellow one, and we just try to put colors together, but I think it works really well. So, you know, this is where you start having some fun with these, because then when you start bringing in, you know, the gobo pieces, you can start kind of hopefully seeing what it will do. So that's circles, here's lines, flowers, you got triangles. Those are regular. This is small triangles. You got small flowers, or I call them that, and you have spinners. And so then what you can do is you can make them, you know, go through a gobo change either in a clockwise direction or in a counterclockwise direction. Or if you come back to, you know, lines, the other thing you'll notice is if I come down here, if I put it on like a, let me throw in a 3% focus, but then have these lines going, they either become more out of focus or in focus. And so it's really cool from that standpoint. And then of course, once you start taking some of these things and throwing colors into it, so let me throw a, you know, a red instead of a white, and you start doing some of these other stuff, you start really seeing, you know, what you can get out of these things. So we're just kind of going back through the same concepts. And this is not that far away. So like this particular distance is about, you know, 15 or maybe 20 feet tops is where it's at. And this is also not, you know, if I start doing a tilt track, or let me do this. We'll do a tilt track, but we'll bring back the lines, and we'll bring back well, you got lines there, or if you've got flowers going, you can kind of see the difference that it does. Let me keep the movement going, because, you know, again, once you get movement going with these things, that's when it looks really cool. So take, for instance, that's just doing a pan track, but if we do something that's more of a, let's see if, you know, if we do like a wave, you can kind of get an idea of what it's doing. And of course, this is if you had a prism effect. This changes it to a 3-facet prism. This is kind of doing a wider prism. So I'll go back to something, let's see if triangle will stay in the area. And so you can kind of get an idea of, you know, I mean, just what, take for instance, and that's actually a very fast triangle that we had. That was actually probably a little crazy fast. This is almost like a bow tie. And again, normally this light is upside down, so when you're seeing it hit the ceiling, that's actually when it's hitting the stage. So this is opposite of what it would normally be. But, you know, again, it's just incredible, because then as you bring in maybe some multicolor concepts, then you really get to see what these things can do. You can see how, you know, blue and yellow on that one and everything spinning. You've got, you know, that happened to be lines. Let's go to where it's, you know, triangles. And when it goes across the audience, which you'll see in our video, it's incredible looking. When it hits the floor, when it's going up into the ceiling area. You know, here is small flowers, and of course spinners. So I mean, you know, these lights are super bright. I love the gobo effect that they do, but I also love, and you'll see on one particular video where we just have the beam going, and when you have the beam going and you've got a little bit of haze or fog, these things are bright. You know, so, you know, whether you're a DJ or whether you're a band, trust me, these things will do some incredible things. So we'll just kind of throw out some other kind of colors just to give you an idea of, you know, here's pink and orange, or pink and amber, whatever color you want to call that. And, you know, you start mixing colors with this, and that's a really cool color. Here's a cyan and pink concept. And let me actually get it to chill, because it's really going fast and it may be hard to kind of keep up with it. Maybe just see if a pan track will go across so you can kind of see a little bit better. But I hope you're really seeing what these lights can do. They are incredible. As I mentioned, they're very bright, but I love that we can take this light for a big venue, put them on 100%, and I promise you, you see them. You know, we were seeing them out into the crowd 40 feet, 50 feet, I don't even know what it was. It was really awesome on the big venue that we did, but then it's nice to be able to kind of cut them down and bring them down to, you know, 75 or even 50% for something that might be a little bit smaller, so it makes more sense, you know, for the size of venue. There's really some very unlimited things you can do with these lights, and when you put them all together, which you will see here in just a minute with our videos, boy, the look together is really cool. So hope you enjoyed kind of what we've tried to show on the review. I will again say very, very pleased with Shehds lights. They have been wonderful. They've been a great company working with, because like I say, they ship quick, they package good. I've really got no complaints, and probably the biggest thing is, I mean, they're priced within a budget that makes sense. You know, some of these lights would be 3 or 4 times this cost and stuff. And so to get what I think is a really good quality light, and all the lights that we've gotten, man, we're very impressed with. So hope you like that. I hope you enjoy the videos we're about to show you of the band. I hope you will keep watching the videos. I hope you'll like the Time Warp Facebook page. We'd love to get some more likes and subscriptions and stuff. And we do have a link on the description in this video, so if you want to buy some of the Shehds lights, we'd love it if you would use that you know, description, or excuse me, that link, because it still gives you the best price and everything, but it's a way that just, you know, lets Shehds know that we're sending folks to them. So hope you enjoyed it. Again, hope you enjoyed the videos we're about to show you.
We show up, we're gonna show out. Smooth and aggressive.